Hey, if you're thinking about moving from California to Hawaii, I got some do's and don'ts here on this short video to help you out and make this move as smooth as possible. You're going to want to check it out if you were ever considering moving out to Hawaii. Okay, so you're going to trade that fast-paced LA or San Francisco lifestyle for the aloha vibes and the beach and a Mai Tai and sunset, but there are some things you're going to need to take into account first. Number one is you're going to have to look at the big picture. Hawaii is not a permanent vacation, but it is a significant lifestyle shift and you've got to be prepared for it. The best way to do that is to come out here and stay for at least a month. Don't think it's going to be just like coming out here for a week or a weekend and you check things out and everything's fun. You're going to need to allow yourself some time to settle in. I recommend at least 3 months time. You can look at places on furnishfinders.com is a great resource to see if you can find some place to stick around for a little while, see what it's really like in day-to-day life, dealing with the traffic, dealing with the cost of living. You're only going to really see what it's like if you're able to spend a few months out here. Don't assume that your income from California is going to last just as long as it does out here in Hawaii. The cost of living is high, even by California standards, so you better be prepared for that. Next, we are going to have to get real about housing. Even by California standards, sticker shock out here can be real. People, it is not uncommon for someone to spend $3,000 or $4,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. Things you only hear about in the most expensive places in California are pretty much the norm across most of the state. So do work with a local real estate agent early in the process. If you're looking at a rental in particular, getting in with them so that they can tell you when rentals come available before they hit the market can really be a smart choice. Don't forget to check the HOA rules, particularly in condos. You'll find that some of the rules out here are much more restrictive than you're used to in a lot of places in California. And if there's things that you're intending to do, like maybe run a business, that might not even be allowed. So be sure to check these rules. Next, let's talk about work and income. Listen, California salaries do not match local realities out here. Industry upon industry, you're going to find, and it may be counterintuitive, that even though the cost of living out here is higher, the jobs in Hawaii are going to pay you less for the exact same job in California, even though it costs more to live out here. So don't expect that your income is going to stretch out here even further. Do secure your remote job in California before you move out here to Hawaii. You may need to interview in person, so get that wrapped up in California and then move out here to Hawaii if you're looking at doing remote work. Don't assume you're going to figure it out when you get here. Hawaii spits out people every single day who think they're just going to come out here and figure it out and everything's just going to work. It's really competitive. There's a lot of people struggling to make it by, and they are going to outperform you and out hustle you if you think things are just going to fall into place for you. Do explore trades, healthcare, real estate, and working for yourself as a viable path forward for good income. It is going to be really hard to make good money working for someone else unless you're in a highly desired job. I will tell you that a lot of people in construction are doing quite well, so that's something you should look into if you have that ability, but you're going to need to come with your training before you get out here to Hawaii. Let's talk about moving logistics. You're not just packing up a U-Haul and moving to Las Vegas. You're moving to a chain of islands in the middle of the ocean, and the logistics are going to be very difficult. Do price out what it's going to take to ship your car out here and compare that against what it costs to buy a car here. You may find it's better, depending on what you're looking at driving, that you can just buy a car here and save yourself a lot of money and hassle, but there are some cars that cost tens of thousands more here. If you have a 4-wheel drive pickup and you like it, you should probably just go ahead and bring that out here, because if you try and buy one here, you're going to spend a lot. Do use things like pod shipping containers and do price out what it's going to take to ship your stuff here in advance. You're going to want to get those things lined up, and you're going to want to condense. Don't come out here with everything that you own. You're probably going to find a lot of it you don't need. You may even be lucky and find a rental that's furnished and you can get rid of a lot of stuff. The cost of shipping everything out here is going to be very expensive. So you really are going to want to be selective about what you bring in order to save yourself a lot of money. Let's talk about people and pets. Listen, if you're moving out here, there may be people in your life who don't get to have a say in it, and that could be your kids and your pets. Do research what it takes to bring your pets out here in advance. The process is 4 months long or longer to avoid the quarantine, and the quarantine is definitely something you want your pets to avoid. It is a bad situation. Some pets don't make it out of quarantine. You don't want to go through that, so you are going to have to deal with the logistics of getting your pet direct released, and like I said, it takes 4 or more months to get that done. Do involve your family in getting adjusted, especially if you're coming from one of the really fast-paced California cities. The pace out here is much slower and it can be difficult, so you're going to want to make sure that everyone is prepared for the change in lifestyle. Don't expect the mainland pace or services or attitudes to exist out here in Hawaii. Everything happens on island time or aloha time. It can take a long time for things to happen. Ordering things that usually take a day or so, or getting services that take a day or so, and often take weeks out here in Hawaii, and that's something you're going to have to get used to. So don't have the expectation that everyone is here waiting for you to call to have them come out and do some sort of work for you. It can be a wait for just the basic things, and you're going to have to be ready for that. Let's talk about embracing local life. Listen, your success in Hawaii is going to come down to one thing: how well can you adapt? And not just financially, but culturally and with the pace of things out here. If you're someone who is pretty well set in your ways and you expect everyone to kind of see the world the way you see it and do things the way you do it, you're going to be a bit of a curmudgeon out here. If you cannot adapt to Hawaii, then you're not going to make it in Hawaii. Do learn about local customs and history and culture and lifestyle. Do that before you come out here so you have an idea of what to expect. Do engage with the community. Find a hobby. Go out and do something that you see other people doing. Join a canoe club. Join some sort of a local activity, whether it's a tennis club or a golf club. Join other people and get to know people and engage in the community. Don't expect people to just be wanting to meet you because you're a new person who moved over from California. That doesn't really fly so well. If you're not out there and putting yourself out there and getting engaged with people, you're going to find it's going to be really hard to make friends. Most importantly, don't ever compare California to Hawaii with anybody. If there's one piece of advice I can give you, it's don't come to Hawaii and say, this is how we do it in California, or we had this which was better in California. Nothing will turn people off from you faster than that. It's the #1 biggest mistake you can make if you ever find yourself about to utter,
back in California, what we did.
Just stop. That's probably the biggest mistake I've ever seen people make. You can just literally hear the eye rolls of everyone else around when that happens. Moving from California to Hawaii can be life-changing if you do it right. If you have any questions or want any tips, hit like and subscribe, send me a message, and I'll be here to help you. In the meantime, I got more videos for you up here in the corner.